All right, I think we are ready to go live. Yeah, we're live on Facebook now. And let me get the recording going here as well. A very good welcome to all of you, and delighted to have you with us for our Friday Freedom webinar. My name is James Lockett, coming to you live from Phoenix. The scenery behind me is what I dream about, but we do live in a nice location in Phoenix, Arizona. The swimming pool is behind me, not the beach. But I hope that you're doing well. We're going to talk about a great topic today. I actually was having a mentoring session yesterday. Grace and I have been for 4 or 5 years now in getting mentoring from Elite Marketing Pro, now known as attractionmarketing.com. And yesterday was one of our regular sessions. So together with, I think, 5 or 6 other people, we had a group Zoom with one of our 7-figure mentors. We actually have 3 of them, which is pretty cool. But she was addressing business planning for the holiday. And it's not just business planning, actually, it's business and personal planning for the holidays. And it was really impactful for me and for the rest of us that were there. And I thought it would be helpful to share with you today as well, pass along the insights that we received. And some of them were things I've known about and thought about, for some years already. Other things were, just, I think, really good ideas and thoughts on how to build a business and how to really keep yourself moving forward, keep yourself engaged and working smartly with your business and your team. But also, just as importantly, if not more, how to keep yourself engaged with your family, your friends, your loved ones, the people around you. And so I'm going to share a few things. If you got something to write with, actually, you might want to take down some notes. I did yesterday, and it really helped me. And I think it'll help you just in terms of planning some things. So first of all, let's just sort of set the scene, because like, I'm in the United States now, although for many years I lived in Asia. And before that, many years I lived in Europe. So I've lived in different countries around the world, all sorts of different holidays. But at least in the United States, like my neighbor across the street already 2 weeks ago had Halloween decorations up. I don't know why so early, but we kind of go through Halloween with decorations and Thanksgiving with decorations. And then there's there's Hanukkah, there's Christmas. In the US, we have Kwanzaa, and then there's New Year's, and then there's, then there's Chinese New Year later on. So there's a lot of different holidays. And, most of us, and I count myself in this as well, a lot of times haven't really prepared for the holidays. We might buy the gifts, we might show up for the dinner, and so forth. But there's a lot of ways that a lot of us don't actually make this our most effective time. Now, we were talking yesterday about the direct sales industry and how it impacts our business, but we're not just business people, we're also people. And so holidays are big events for your family, for your friends, for your loved ones, all these different aspects of our lives. And planning for those while staying effective in our business is actually a really huge thing. So that's one of the things that I'd like to talk about. And I don't know if you've ever noticed, but the November, December timeframe is a time when it can be your busiest part of the year. Actually, a huge number of sales going on. So if you're in the sales world, if you've got things to offer, this is in a time when people are buying, and they're buying like crazy. And if you've got something good and convenient that's reasonably priced, you can do terrifically well. The problem is that with all that, a lot of people just sort of check out. And if you've not been in the industry long enough, you maybe are not familiar with this, but You know, a lot of people, when they get to like December the 1st, they just think, all right, well, it's the holidays. I'm going to start buying presents and watching a lot of football and drinking a lot of eggnog and hanging out with family. And I'll come back to my business in January or February. And what you typically find is that the people that check out for a month, it takes them about 3 months. Now, listen to this. People that check out for a month typically takes them about 3 months to get re-engaged, if ever. Actually, if ever. So actually, if you don't prepare your team to do the kind of business planning that we're going to talk about here, then what you're allowing your team to do and yourself to do is basically check out for 4 or 5 months out of the year. Now, if you do that, think about this. People tend to do that in November and December, and then January and February maybe come back. And they tend to do it in May or June, and then check out in July and August, and then maybe come back in September. So if you checked out for 2 periods of 4 months a year, how much are you working during the year? 4 months, maybe. And this is one reason why people just don't treat their home-based business as a business. And so we're going to talk about real serious business planning and how you do that in a home-based business context. But for those of us now, I learned this long ago, and had to learn to have the discussion with my wife, with my son, with my family, with my business partners. But there's some other aspects to it that we went through yesterday that I thought were really helpful. And so for those of us who do continue to build, and I would encourage you, if you're a serious business builder, to also be a builder and to build. But for those of us who do continue to build, and we still want to engage with our family and friends during these holidays, these really important holidays, and we're going to see people. So what do you say to those people? If you are going to plan to continue to work, maybe you are planning to do Zooms while you're at your sister's. I mean, just to put it in context, our family is probably going to go to Washington State. We're in Arizona. We're probably going to go to Washington State for Christmas because we weren't able to do that last year, and we're kind of overdue, and we want to check in with our extended family up in Washington State. So, I still plan to work while I'm there. So what do I say to my sister and my extended family and all the cousins and nephews? How much do I agree to engage, and how much do I plan to sit down and do business on the family table or in my room or whatever it is, or I have to go out to a coffee shop if it's too busy? I have to think all that through, because if I'm going to, spend, say, 10 days with the family or a week or whatever it might be, how do you plan to continue to work during those times? How do you set those expectations? What do you say to them? And there's another aspect then. So many of us, when we go into those family settings, right, for Thanksgiving, like a lot of us, family events, maybe you go to Thanksgiving, you go to your spouse's family, and then for Christmas, you go to your family, and they switch every other year. That's a pattern that many people have. But in that setting, you have a lot of conversations. So I have like one sort of mischievous stepbrother of mine who likes to tease me about my direct sales business. And he's not a big fan of direct sales because, he failed in something some years ago and thinks the whole thing is not very good. So he likes to ask me questions and kind of try to embarrass me. And I've never been fazed by his questions, but a lot of people are. And I remember the first couple of times I went through that, I had to, really kind of steel myself or get myself ready. So let's have a good straightforward talk about some of those things. And one of the first things I think that's really important, actually, throughout all this, is to think about be proactive. So the first thing is be aware of what you're getting yourself, what you're getting into. And when I say be aware, don't just think about it, but be proactive. And one thing you can do is be proactive about your calendar. So all of us have calendars, but the holiday period gets really, really, really packed, doesn't it? Just think about it. Now I was just trying to catalog that the next couple of days. Those next 60 days, or 80 days, or whatever it is, tend to get crazy. There's a lot of stuff packed in. So the first thing you can do is set a plan, and you do that by looking at your calendar, and you figure out plan to when you can connect with people, like your family events, and then there's events that you need to attend. So, for example, our and I don't know how this is going to work with COVID, right? So, I'm going to assume that there'll be some things going on in school. My son's a sophomore in high school, and he's in the band, so they have Christmas concerts. I don't know if they're going to do a Christmas concert or a virtual Christmas concert or whatever. But in a normal year, this is what I'm trying to think about. In a normal year, he's going to have a Christmas concert. So I need to know about that in advance. Find out when that is. Our church typically has one or two Christmas things. Last year, there were two kind of major Christmas concerts that we wanted to go to. Thanksgiving, there are some things. Maybe you just absolutely on Thanksgiving Day have to watch that one or two or three football games. Maybe you've got college football bowl games during the Christmas and New Year time period. There are holiday parties. My wife now is teaching. She's a teacher, and they will certainly have a holiday party and probably a staff party. So I was thinking of that yesterday. All right, I got to get that into my calendar. 2 holiday parties, and then just other family traditions. So what about? Because I completely last year, and we're a little bit strange. We've only moved back to the United States 2 years ago, so I'm having to rethink and re-engage with all the traditions. Some of you may be better organized than me on this, but like last year, I hadn't really programmed it into my head decorating the house for Christmas. Some people decorate, like my neighbors decorate for Halloween. That was a new one to me. And then they're going to decorate for Thanksgiving, and then they're going to decorate for Christmas. So, but we got to decorate the Christmas tree. Do we have a time set aside for that? I mean, often we don't make time for that, and it kind of disappoints family. And then we get into a time crunch, and everybody's anxious and upset. So if you can just kind of do that, and that's more personal planning. That's courtesy and love to your family. But it's also approaching life and your business and your personal life in a professional or business-like fashion. So getting all those things in there then allows you to see, all right, this time period, maybe this week I have a day and a half of, engagements. I need to do some decorating, need to do some Christmas shopping, maybe put in and plan your Christmas shopping day, right? Wouldn't that be amazing if you actually planned your Christmas shopping and got it done early? That's the dream for many people, but we'll see. I suspect a lot of us are going to be doing that online, but even to do it online, you probably need some time to do your online shopping, right? So that's the idea. Get your calendar, for your Thanksgiving calendar, your Christmas calendar, whatever, your Kwanzaa calendar, your Hanukkah calendar, your New Year's calendar. Know when you are committed to do some things, and sit around with the family and have an eggnog or whatever you have at your holiday gatherings, and really focus and dedicate your time there. Now, yesterday we were talking, and my mentor was talking about she was at home in New England with her family last year, and her mother was pretty annoyed with her because she was on her phone. They were watching a Christmas program, and she was on her phone texting with people. And mother was giving her the evil eye, right? That evil eye. So she finally, after that, she sat down with her mother and went through something that was really simple, and actually I thought it was really helpful. And let me pass that on. So three questions that you can have, a little expectation discussion. And it's just really saying, what do you want? No, so, all right, here, Mom, my husband and I are here, or my wife and I and our son are here, and I could have this conversation with my sister, right? You could have it with, your family. You could have it with actually with everybody. You could have it with your spouse. You could have it with your children. You could have it with your work partners. You could have it with your relatives. You could have it with the friends that you're going to. When I go back to the Northwest, I have old friends that I want to see, and they all want to spend X amount of time and want to go out and do something. And I want to do that too. And yet I still need to keep my business going. And I still want to do that. And I can't check out for 4 months, right? You get that. And then, so you ask, well, what do you want? What would you like to do? What's important to you for us to do? Most people want to sit down and talk. Most people would like to, go out for lunch and have some fun, or go out for drinks, or watch a football game, or hang out, or go for a walk, or, just whatever things help you build and remind and rekindle and make that important. It might be cooking with your relatives. It might be just sitting down and watching a football game or a basketball game or whatever that might be. But find out. So what do you want? Then talk about ask them what they want. What do I want? And then what do we want? What do we want to do together? And that's just a really helpful way to set expectations. And if you can do that with, the main people that you're going to be engaging with, or you want to be engaged with, or who want to engage with you, and set those expectations, that's really important. Same thing with, your spouse, so, or your children. I'm not going to check out for 4 months. I'm going to keep working. So when we go to Washington State, in my example, we're going to go up there for 10 days or so. I'll still need to work probably 3 or 4 or 5 days out of that time, but we'll still be able to, do what. So I want to know, what do you want? What do you want to do? What's important to you? My son will want to go and hang out with all the kids and do some fun stuff and see his buddies in the family. My wife will want to spend some time. She definitely wants my sister to teach her some of our family favorite recipes. That's been on her mind, so she'll definitely want to do that. Just a couple of examples I'm giving you. I want to hang out with some of the family, catch up on our family is one of those like college football families. We like to do that. So plan to do that. And yet, make sure that everybody understands I also have to keep building my business. So once you do that, once you've got your calendar and you've also had some key conversations, then you've really set up yourself for success. But if you now let's talk about doing the same sort of thing if you are a business builder and a leader. Have you had this same kind of conversation with your team? And if you haven't had that conversation with your team ever, and I tend to do it, every year, then start doing it now, right? In fact, that's one reason why I'm doing this video. I'm doing this as kind of an education, but I plan to give it to my team, and I'm going to put this video on our team page. So you guys listen. No, but it is really important. If you want your business to continue to go, I just talked about a lot of the personal side, but if you don't keep your personal side and your business side both moving and going, you're asking for train wrecks. So there's a train wreck if you only do the business and you don't do any of the personal things, because then people get annoyed families and they get burned out and, all of that. And the same thing, if it's all personal and no business, then your business is being treated like a hobby. You're not going to be making money. Your customers don't take 4 months off. Actually, it's a time for most people in network marketing who have consumable products. November and December and January are boom times, absolute boom times. But the only people that boom are the people that plan to boom and work. Um, so you can do some extraordinary things during this time, or you can be killing your business. And it's a decision that each of us has to take. But those of us who are team leaders, like ourselves and perhaps yourself, if you've got a team, then have the discussion, have that same question. What do you want? What do I want? What do we want? What are our expectations? Are we going to have training calls? We're going to continue to do all of our training calls. You're going to cancel some things. I mean, for example, I typically depends on when Christmas and New Year's and some of those holidays are. Obviously, I cancel. I'm not going to do something on Christmas Day. I'm not going to do something on Thanksgiving Day. I'm not going to do something on New Year's Day. Um, so I'll be canceling events if those conflict. I don't even know. I haven't checked. That's another thing. You should check your calendar and when you're doing like webinars and three-way calls and that sort of thing. And then check in with your team. So what are your plans for the holidays in terms of business building? Because probably people on your team have never even thought of it before. They've never had a conversation because they're still getting used. Not everybody is really entrepreneurial, and you hope that all of your team members are entrepreneurial and are aspiring leaders or are leaders. But some people need training, and we all need reminding. And for me, the reminding came yesterday, and for you, perhaps the reminding is today or whenever you're watching this. So, the having those conversations with your team is also important. And I would suggest, if you can, do those conversations one-on-one, or at least invite people, invite your team members to reach out and have that one-on-one conversation with you. And if you're on the sound of my voice and we're working together, please do reach out, because I'd love to have a talk and plan with you. But if you're just listening to this for the some ideas, that's cool too. Glad to share those ideas with you, and I know it'll be helpful, like it has been for me. But when you get all that done, there's one more dimension, and that's, I alluded to it earlier, but that's like my stepbrother, or the Christmas dinner. Yesterday, my friend was talking about her she called her grandmother, and the big Thanksgiving or the big Christmas dinner, with 20 people around the table or 15 people or whatever it is, and the grandchildren. And it's common in a lot of families to go around and, how are things going? What are you doing? And the grandmother is the grand poobah inquisitor, or the grandfather, or, typically, someone like that. And then other people chime in, and we do something similar in our family. But she every year gets grilled by her grandmother on her business. This person started building a network marketing business in 2011, 12, and then finally became successful about 2013. But her grandmother never understood, still doesn't understand to this day, really what she does. So she gets, and the questions become a little bit more vague every year, because grandmother is getting older, obviously. But she was just talking about, what are you doing, and what is it that you do, and you sell stuff. Oh, so you do e-commerce. Oh, so you sell stuff. And then she would try to explain to her grandmother, yeah, I sell things a little bit like eBay or a little bit like Amazon. Oh, so you sell TVs? Well, I don't sell TVs, I sell other things, but the idea is the same. So, oh, how much money do you get for selling a TV? And people can just start asking questions and get lost in the weeds. And it can, because, if people are not entrepreneurial, they tend to not understand. But I think, the e-commerce analogy, whether, it's like you can be an affiliate for, a good way that people understand it is you explain you're in an affiliate type of a business, because everybody more or less knows these days you can be an Amazon affiliate, you can be an Apple affiliate, you can be what's the name of the electric car? Forgetting. Anyway, a lot of people have affiliate programs. And if a customer buys through your affiliate link, you get a commission. And people are starting to get that a lot more than they ever used to. So, have that 1 or 2 sentence explanation that you can quickly say what you're doing. And then, the annoying people in your life, right, are going to say, and how much money are you making on that? That was what my stepbrother always liked to ask me. And fortunately, I had good answers for him. But if you're not making a lot of money yet, just talk about your progress or something. But I thought my friend yesterday had a good, really normal way of dealing with those kinds of questions. So, what are you doing, and what is it about, and do you make money? Just give a quick answer, and then use the beauty of questions. So ask them about them. So instead of just letting them continuing to quiz them, turn it around and ask them about them. Ask them about their job, their kids, their holidays, what they're doing. What did they do last summer? What are you planning to do this year? And just have fun. If you could be, have fun and just kind of laugh a little bit and be confident about it. Most of the people that are asking you questions, they're not entrepreneurial. They're not going to understand anyway. So don't feel compelled that you have to give an explanation. Explain, well, I get 10% on the first level, 12% on the third level, and then in the binary and the split and the unilevel and the comp plan and jumpstart. You don't need to do all that. So don't fall into that trap. It's simpler than they want to make it, and then you need to make it. So again, that's another aspect. Just be prepared for, but remember to have some fun, because it can be crazy, and like I've got, like I say, I have one member in my family who just likes to be a little bit, he's like just trying to like jab me with a knife. He knows what he's doing, and I know what he's doing, and so he's having fun. I just don't let him, and so that's really good. But I thought the answer this, have a quick answer, and then answer that with your own line of questions, and just show your interest in them, is a great way to kind of deflect all that. So. So in summary, guys, this won't be a long training today, but I think it's a really helpful one. A couple of things. Number one, be proactive. So when you get finished with this today, if you've taken some notes, the first thing I would do is go to your calendar and map out some time. Map out some time for the things you got to do, Christmas events, the shopping, the decorating, the Christmas parties. And go and be proactive. So if you don't know, for example, if you're like, for me, I don't know when our church has Christmas events or New Year's events. I don't know when my son's school has those events. So I'm going to go find that out. I actually started today already with the school calendar, but I haven't checked with the church on the church side yet. And that's just one example. Your examples would be your examples. But those are things that are typically events out there, and then I'll know what constraints I have on my calendar. Another thing I'm going to do is, I know kind of the time when we're going to be in Washington State with family. So I know I won't be able to have business events that much during that time period. The other thing I got to get in my schedule is I have to know, because my family is kind of focused, we're going to watch the Rose Bowl football. We're going to watch a little NFL. We're big Seahawks fans, so we're going to do some of that. We're Gonzaga basketball fans, so we're going to do some of that. So, I mean, I know I need to get that into the calendar, because that's going to really constrict the time when I can work on my business, right? And then I'll know what to plan, webinars and opportunities to talk with people, and when to schedule all that, and when to write emails and all that. So that's kind of the first part, and if you can do that, well, you can really get control of your business. So that's point one. Point two, do the same exercise with your significant surroundings. So this weekend I'm going to have a call with my sister. I'm going to have a talk with my wife and my son. and one or two others, just to set some expectations and kind of know what they want to do, what we want to do, what we want to do together. Those three questions I talked to you about before. Then reaching out to our team and really working on how all that will come together. So if you can do that, you can really make this holiday season transformative and not a dissipating downward spiral like it may have been in the past for you, but in fact, something that can really take advantage. Because, I mean, the cool thing is really that this time period is a consumptive period. People, November, December, and January, these are consumption months. So people are in consumption mode, and if you are aware of that and work into that, take advantage of company promos. There are always company promos. Do that, and then also understand that during these time periods, what I have noticed, and you'll have to check it yourself, but what I have noticed is that typically those events tend to be on like a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. So stack your production in your work week. So stack your production. So move more of your calendar to Monday and Tuesday if that's the case, and it is the case for me. So I'm now stacking into my calendar, when to do videos, when to do more lives, and there'll be a lot more on Monday and Tuesday. Now this one I'm doing here, I have on a Friday, and I probably won't change that. That might be an exception because you do sometimes get some Friday events, and I find I do end up having to cancel this Friday Freedom webinar that we do for that reason, but I still like Friday is a time to do it for other reasons. But in the holidays, I find stacking more on Monday and Tuesday, because some of those school and church events tend to be on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday type things. And it's the same thing with all the games, the basketball and football and all that kind of stuff tends to be stacked towards Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? Those are those heavy sports days. So all that to say, this can be a really effective tool. So again, just to recap, do the planning on your calendar, do the proactive discussions with your family and significant people that you're talking to, do the discussions with your friends, and then really enjoy the season. Really enjoy the season. Take advantage of it. Live life. Have the fun that you have. Enjoy that with your family and friends, and at the same time, really take advantage of this consumptive period, because this is a terrific opportunity. It's an opportunity to take advantage of that for yourself. It's an opportunity for you to teach and lead your team in how to be productive during this kind of season. It's an example for you to step up in leadership in your team, and it's a way to demonstrate how to really build a business. Because people that check out for 4 months at Christmas and 4 months at summer aren't really building a business. That's a hobby. So if you've not thought through that, I hope this has been helpful. And really glad that you were able to attend or watch me. You might be watching later. We've got this on Facebook, so if you watch it later, give us please a thumbs up and a like. I will put in the comments here a little a business building tool. It's our attraction marketing boot camp. We offer that for free, and so it's another type of business building tool, but just as a resource to share with those of you that have come on here live. I do appreciate all of you that are here. I've given it to you on Facebook already, and for those of you that are attending live on Zoom, I'll pop that in the chat. There you go. And if you ever would like any further help, just reach out one-on-one. I'd be glad to talk with you. If you want some more details about what we're doing and kind of how we're doing our business plan for the next 60 to 90 days, glad to have some discussions on that. But that being said, hope this has been helpful to you. Look forward to talking with you further. And thanks so much for attending today, business planning for the holidays. So I don't know. I'm not, I don't, it almost feels like I should say happy holidays. It just kind of makes, it's too early for me to say that, but happy planning for the holidays. Let's put it that way. All right. So thank you again for joining. Take good care and let us know how we can serve you further. Thank you. Bye-bye.